Hi, and welcome to another episode of Changing Lanes Shouldn't Be a Full Contact Sport
In
in 5D.
I think that we've all adopted completely different formats.
I mean, why not? I feel like that's the way that we're always going to do it. But I do have a fun story to go along with it, as usual. So, everybody knows this weekend was Mother's Day. Well, sort of.
Yeah.
I didn't celebrate it.
What
But
do you mean, sort of? Wait, which is like only
It's,
half
like,
the people?
it's not
are
going
like-
to be the week this plays.
yeah, also
Oh,
in Mexico, it's the 10th of May, no matter what fucking day it falls on. None of this first Sunday of the bullshit Sunday. Anyways,
Well, I guess for the people live on YouTube, it was this week.
yeah,
Cater to them. That's your
yeah,
audience.
fair enough. But anyways, so I'm driving my wife down to where her parents live and everything, and I'm driving back up because a friend of mine was in from out of town and whatever. I am driving, actually, I've mellowed out recently. I usually just do 75 now, 80 if I'm feeling frisky. And you know how much of a departure that is, Bonsai. But
Oh, yeah.
I'm sitting there, and the person in the far lane, and by far lane I mean all the way to the left, decides to merge into the car on the lane all the way to the right. Like, not even a signal, just like, hey, how's it going? Boop. Just fucking disaster. It was exhausting to watch. Like, cause like the one car hit the side thing and started spinning, and then everyone else goes into evasive maneuvers, and you slow down, nobody's hurt, you pull off to the side. The dude who hit everyone else starts yelling like it wasn't his fault. It was amazing. It totally
Boggles
reiterated
the mind.
all kinds of things, all kinds of biases I have against human beings. Just totally just cemented them and reiterated them. It was amazing.
What I don't get, because I also do like 70, 75 down the freeway. And I use my blinker constantly. Like, it takes me no effort to like move my fucking finger to hit the button so it fucking signals one left or right. And I don't understand how come people can't do that.
Yeah, it's kind of mind-blowing. And what's weirder is it's a thing everywhere.
Dude,
It's such a thing, it's a thing.
I tend to signal in a fucking parking lot just because it's that ingrained in me.
Yeah, I do
Yeah.
too.
Like, I'm turning right into a spot. I'm turning right around that loop or something. I end up signaling. Do I need to? Probably fucking not. But I do it anyways because that's what I'm used to. And I don't understand. And there are some terrible drivers out here, but that takes the cake. Not only did he take out that poor little sedan, he got on. He was mad about it. Like, dude.
That's how
Everyone-
selfish people are, though. Like, and that's the kind of people that don't use their blinker is selfish fucking people.
It's never their fault. It's never their fault.
Ants don't have traffic jams. Because ants don't
that's
have
true.
egos.
Well, it's true. They also don't have individual thoughts, I don't believe.
You don't know. I seen that movie, Ants. They were all like, oh no.
You mean A Bug's Life?
Yeah, the same thing.
Well, there's also the movie Ants.
I just rewatched what was it? Black Sheep. So now I feel like I really don't need to rewatch Tommy Boy.
You know what? I actually thought those were the same movie with two different white people names when I was a kid when those came out. Like, because I'd seen other movies where you have one title and another one, instead of a title, has like a catchphrase and no title, just a catchphrase. So I thought white people just gave movies different titles. And that was one of them where it was very similar, and I was like,
Death to Whitey!
he's the same.
Kill Whitey. That one's Black Sheep. I just watched that one.
Yeah,
Gary Busey is great.
because Black Sheep was the one where it was like he was doing the campaign for his brother or something like that was like going for
Yeah.
office, wasn't it? Yeah. And
Yeah.
Tommy Boy was like him doing the insurance
No, not. Wait. Oh, yeah, that's right. Tommy Boy.
Yeah.
No.
because he has the whole scene where he goes to the tire company and he has the cars and it's like the like model cars
Yeah.
that the dude builds And he like crashes them together and is like, meh, 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 and that's what happens if you don't have good insurance. And the dude's like, just get out. Because he's all pissed at him for breaking his model.
Maybe I do need to rewatch them. I mean,
Yeah.
they're essentially the same movie, but they're both good movies. I'm not trashing them. I love those movies.
So it's not like
Chris Farley being Chris Farley is what it is.
Right.
You can watch
not-
Beverly Hills Ninja, it's the same thing.
I don't like Beverly Hills Ninja,
I'm just saying it's the same thing because it's Chris Farley.
I guess.
I haven't seen any of those movies in ages. I need to go back and revisit those films. A couple months back, I revisited Don't Be a Menace, and it was still hilarious.
Oh,
I
yeah.
need to rewatch
That's always
Don't
one
Be
of
a
my
Menace.
favorite.
Dude, that one fucking, like, some of the jokes are specific to the time, but most of them are still relevant and dated, and that makes me worried for the
still have
human.
Hey, man, you bet me I can get that girl's number? Man, you can't get that girl's number. Walks over. Bitch, give me your number.
Just busts out a gun, puts
Pulls
it
a
to her
gun on
head,
her.
and he's like, all right,
Oh,
I'll
so
call you
good.
8 o'clock.
Should I
Yeah.
wear this Tech 9 with these high tops?
This Uzi with my
Or
low
this
top.
Uzi with these low tops?
Oh, man.
Movie's
That,
so
It was
good.
one of my favorite movies growing up, actually.
that movie holds up.
Love
It
that movie.
totally does. All right, so last week I had to sit out, or last episode I should say, I had to sit out while y'all talked about Endgame. I finally saw this fucking movie.
Spoiler alert, Thanos dies.
Oh, I thought I was gonna have to take off my headphones.
No,
Are we really
no.
gonna do one? We okay?
No,
Go.
no.
Go.
I'm not
Go.
doing a full review. I'm
Mhm.
just gonna say that I thought it was okay.
Spoiler alert.
Endings are hard. Endings are hard. I thought the story was a bit predictable, at least how they finished it off, but it was a nice send off for some of the characters. Also, Fat Thor didn't need to happen.
I liked Fat Thor. It was funny.
I loved Fat Thor.
I thought it would have been funny for like a throwaway gag, but not for a whole like.
I thought it was great, especially when they were like, "Hey, Big Lebowski," because I was the only person in the theater that laughed.
Because you're old.
Special big guy.
Yeah. I was like, "God damn it, that was a joke just for me."
But yeah, anyways, I like the movie. I don't think I would call it better than Infinity War, but it was
Yeah, I'm
good.
in that same boat.
Yeah. So
I'm
okay.
super excited to see Thor with fucking Guardians.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll be interesting for sure. Maybe he'll lose weight by then.
Maybe.
All right. So here's a movie that two of us saw.
But
As always.
No, Bonsai, you can hang out, man. No,
I kind of don't want spoilers for this
it
one.
doesn't
though.
have to be a spoiler review.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Both Klops and I have opinions on this movie, and I just want to say one thing. He was too fucking cute to take serious. Oh my god. The whole time.
That was kind of the point, though.
It's like, look at him. He's all mad and junk. Oh.
Yeah. It's a little Pikachu. I don't think they're very intimidating creatures.
Yeah, so, all right, Klops, you go first, because I just talked about Endgame.
Okay. Well, I actually liked it. I thought it was like a fun movie. I don't think it was like groundbreaking in any way, but at the same time, none of us really asked for this movie. Like, I don't know where it came from, but I understand the logic behind it because at least they did something Pokemon related. It didn't touch like the whole main series of like things that are happening there with a lot to cover in one movie. So, I guess I get that kind of premise of it, to do a spin-off movie of a spin-off game kind of thing. I thought it was fun. I think it had some laughs. It wasn't super like unpredictable at any means. And it leads to a lot of questions about hygiene in this world, at least for me. So just like,
It's concerning.
yeah, you'll find out when you watch it what I'm talking about. I of course loved Ryan Reynolds as Detective Pikachu. He was on point, just like he always is.
So do you think Danny DeVito would have done a better job?
No.
I love Danny DeVito, so either way it would be a win-win situation for me.
No.
But only if Detective Pikachu acted like Frank from fucking Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
See, you lose me there. I don't
Yeah,
like
look.
Always Sunny.
I love Always Sunny.
What they needed out of the main character in this, by the main character I mean Pikachu, I don't think Danny DeVito could have delivered. I don't think Danny DeVito can play Ernest well. You know what I mean? I like Danny DeVito. I think he's fucking hilarious. I was actually just rewatching the episode of Friends he was on, and he's fucking hilarious, dude. That dude is funny. I didn't know how funny he was for the longest time because all I had ever really seen him in was as the Penguin.
Oh yeah.
And that wasn't like he was. I look back and it's funny now, but as a kid, that wasn't funny. But then I saw him in a movie with Martin Lawrence, and I really started to see his comedic chops, and he's done a number of things. But anyway, so back to the Detective Pikachu. I will say this movie. Here's what this movie did, and I just complete honesty, I was sober watching this. I was high as a kite watching Endgame. I was completely sober watching this one.
Seems weird for the kids movie.
Well, to be fair though, like, do you really want to see me super high around children?
I mean, yeah.
I mean, most of my audience that was there was like young adults.
Not for us. When we went Sunday afternoon, and there were a shit ton of kids.
Mm.
But here's what it did for me, and it's something that hasn't been done since probably the first Harry Potter. It awakened my sense of wonder. That like sense that you have as a kid when you're introduced to a new world, finally seeing the Pokemon world live action did the same thing that the first Harry Potter did with the magic.
I feel like you would describe getting a pinky in your butt the exact same way you are describing the Pokemon Detective Pikachu movie.
Okay, first
but
off,
I just laugh like that because he can see what I mean. It's the same
first off,
vocabulary.
My sense of wonder as the pinky penetrated my rectum.
Okay, first off, I've had shitty toilet paper, so no, it does not awake your sense of wonder. It was
That's a little bit different.
It was just shame. It
You're
was
not
just shame.
experimentation and in the right mindset, my friend.
Well, that mindset was nowhere near the mindset I had watching Pikachu. But no, so all jokes aside, because I've played Pokemon mostly on the 2D, a 2D format. I have played 2 of the quasi 3D ones.
Mm-hmm.
But seeing it in front of you and not with super shitty CGI, there's a couple of moments where you go like, but mostly good CGI. And this character, like I was way more into the Pokemon than I was into any of the human characters. And my only criticism is the 2 main human actors were not on point for this. I haven't seen them in anything else. I can't talk for anything else, but I don't think they were on point for this. There were very much moments where I look at my wife and I'm like, he's not a very good actor. And she goes, nope.
I mean, he wasn't the best. I also felt that the other character that was the other human character was kind of shoehorned in. It wasn't like super organic in the killing. And that's where I think it falls short on that. So I think it's a bit of the writing as well as their performances.
I
haven't seen anything else.
I think they were going for a stereotype, but then like it felt like they abandoned it halfway through.
Yeah, kind of.
So
and then we changed our minds.
Pretty much.
Right? Like
Then
that.
we wrote the rest of the script.
And I will say that, and feel free to tell me, Bonzo, if you don't want to know the rest of this, but
I don't want to know the rest of this.
Okay, nice. I'll make this statement. One of my favorite Pokemon I was actually disappointed how they made him look. I won't say which one.
Arena?
I won't say which one if Bonsai doesn't want me to say it.
No. Yeah, that's why I'm taking big stabs. Was it in the arena?
Yes, he doesn't want me to say it, so I won't say it. But overall, it was a kids movie. It totally was a kids movie.
I looked at the runtime because me and my wife were thinking about seeing it. And she's like, "How long is it?" I was like, "It's 1 hour and 33 minutes." She was like, "Oh," and I was like, "Yeah, this is a kids movie."
Yeah. No, I would say this was more of a kids movie than Shazam was, but I also enjoyed this one a little bit more than Shazam, although Shazam was pretty good. But being the kids movie, the plot isn't super fucking elaborate. The thematically, it is very much in your face, right? Like there aren't that much like subvertive things. It's all very kind of cards on the table.
Sure.
But I will say I enjoyed the crap out of it. I would very definitely recommend.
So, since you two have seen it, I'm just gonna like the couple of things I saw on the internet. I'm just gonna ask if it makes a difference, yes or no.
Okay.
I saw a bunch of people complain that they did not use enough Pokemon in the movie.
No.
Like there was not enough. There's something like there's like 54 that show up. It'd be like there's 800.
They
And
did
it didn't
a lot
feel like
more
enough.
originals. There was a lot more of like the Squirtles and the Pidgeys.
Do they say what region they're in?
I don't remember if
This
they
is
do or
its-
not.
it-
So like
Rate them.
familiar for me. Yeah.
So what they do say in the movie is that this city is unique with how Pokemon and humans interact. So that can kind of talk about what is and isn't.
So it's like P&V stuff with the Pokemon.
Oh yeah, just like yeah, straight up.
Alright. It's a bold move for a kids movie.
Yeah, right. Okay, so you had something else. What were the other criticisms?
Does it break the video game trend? Is this a good video game movie, or is it really just preying on nostalgia and Ryan Reynolds?
I don't think it has really any. I don't know. I never played Detective Pikachu, honestly. So I don't know what the difference is between.
Well, I think they more mean just like going for the Pokemon. Like you get your live action Pokemon movie. They're selling you on just that it's Pokemon, not that it's good.
Well, I think it's actually its own unique story. It's not super tied into the game universe, which is what I actually really liked about it. Because there's a lot of things in the gaming universe, and I would hate to see all 8 gym battles in an hour and a half movie.
No, dude, it's a 3-part movie, like everything is.
Okay,
now.
so
Just
let
like
me
watching
Fantastic
the
Four,
events of
fuck off and
Pokemon
back.
Red, the
L-
fucking
let-
movie.
let me
right.
put it this way. I think this
Like-
might help solve it. And I'll let you get back to your thought, but if this was made as a cartoon and not live action, it would still be a good Pokemon movie.
I just think that this is them getting their toes wet into the
For doing
Pokemon
more.
franchise for doing more, and I think that it was a good take on what they felt was achievable going forward.
I like that. I buy that.
Yeah, I will say that if this thing makes money, they're definitely going to make more. And I don't know if it's quite made its budget back. I'm actually looking right now. But I liked it. If I would have to give it a rating, I would give it a 3 out of 4 Elite Four. Kick the shit out of.
That was almost a sentence. Klops?
I would give it probably a 4 coffees out of 5 coffees.
Okay. I think that's the same rating, but you use different scales.
Okay, and it looks like production budget was 150 million. It made in its opening weekend 166 million.
Is that domestic or
Both.
oof?
Domestic, it made 54 million.
That sucks.
It's already made its budget back on its first weekend though. That's usually a good sign.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not a hit.
No,
it was
not,
it was the number
record-breaking.
2 movie this weekend though.
Number 2 in its opening weekend. That's not good.
It is good. It is good for
No.
a video game movie, dude.
It's not good. It's just not bad.
For a video game movie, it's great.
All right, fair enough.
I mean,
It already looks better than Sonic. I haven't seen either one, but
yeah.
and I'm not just talking about the way it looks. They're both kid movies. I think Sonic might be fine. I don't think Sonic stands much of a chance of being good.
Fair enough. I don't
I
think
think Sonic will
Sonic.
just be fine.
I don't think Sonic's gonna be as good as Detective Pikachu because of Ryan Reynolds.
Who's playing Sonic? It's somebody. Isn't it somebody?
It's got to be somebody.
I know, but Jim Carrey's in it. That might be fun.
Let's.
Well, you know what? I'm very mixed about
Let's
Carrie.
see.
I've seen Carrie do amazing comedy. I've seen Carrie do amazing drama. But lately, the last couple years, I've seen Carrie do horrible at fucking everything.
That's true.
So I don't know.
know.
I liked it. I thought it was great. But let's move from video game movies to video games. Klops, you got something you want to talk about?
Yeah, I've been playing.
Okay, no, but Clubs, do you have something you want to talk about that isn't just porn?
I mean, it was.
Avi.
I can talk more about that. I can talk more about porn later, though, if you want.
Do you know, like,
Once we
behind
turn off-
closed
once we turn
doors?
off the cameras.
Yes.
Well, we can keep them on, but won't be live. We'll just record.
So, after your guys' review last week of Moonlighter, I really wanted to play Moonlighter, but I'm too broke for that. So, I looked on the Nintendo store, and I had $5 left over on my account.
Woot,
And I was
woot.
like, sweet. And there was a sale going on. So, I picked up 3 games, one of which was Mana Spark. The
Yeah.
Mana Spark it's like normally like $10 to $15. I got it for like $2. And it's completely worth it. It's worth $10, honestly. It's a roguelike kind of dungeon crawler game. And the story premise I haven't got too much into, but the opening thing is that humans have basically been enslaved by basically creatures that can do magic. And you're one of the villages outside of the enslaved humans that was recently kind of attacked by an entity that you don't know what. They don't really explain it. But instead of like enslaving you all, they just took a couple people and fucking left. And now you're like, what the fuck? That's weird.
Took a
Like, you're
couple
going to
people,
question the fact
fucked
you're not
them,
slaves.
and left.
Right? Yeah. So you decide, you know what, we're going to move camp, and then we're going to try to save the people that were taken and try to fight back. So there are multiple characters that you can play as you unlock them. The first one you get is called the Hunter. And he's got basically a bow and arrow. And he's a ranged kind of attacker. And I gotta say, this game can be hard as shit. It was kind of difficult. Well, not difficult. It was a hard learning curve to get the aiming and the shooting down, because it doesn't go right where your reticle goes. It goes actually slightly to the right, because it's an over-the-top view, kind of. So getting the aiming down was something that I had to do in this game.
Is that a bug or a feature?
I think it's basically because the guy's holding his bow sideways when he's shooting.
Oh, so he's going for the kill shot.
Yeah, exactly. So it arches this way a little bit instead of straight on.
Fair enough.
And the cool thing about this game is that it actually has a very in-depth combat system. Like, it's not just like point and click and shoot, right? You know, it's kind of, I know you guys are gonna hate it. It was kind of Dark Souls just in like its attack and like combat system. And there's tons of different enemies. And the thing that makes it roguelike is that I think I spent the first day vaguely playing this game, and I never made it past the first dungeon. I had 3 hit points that I can use, and some enemies take off a half a hit. Some enemies take off a thing and a half, or 2 points of health. And when you die, you basically get the option to just do the dungeon run again, or to go back to your camp and upgrade things, because you get little things to upgrade and stuff like that. And you have to start completely over. So now I've made it past the first dungeon multiple times, mind you, and then have died, and then had to start at the beginning again. I don't know if there's a checkpoint system eventually, like where if I get a certain amount of time, it will put me at the checkpoint. But if there is, I haven't reached it yet. I have gotten a lot better at combating all the things that's around. And normally when I die, it's like I forgot something, or I just got like held onto a wall, or like moved into a wall wrong or something like that, and died for it. So it can be, if you play your cards right and know what you're doing, it can be very fluent in what you're doing and killing stuff, and be really relatively easy. But one mistake and it could be game over. I had one where like I had perfect health. I was like about to go into the first boss, and I went to a room and there was an item, and I was like, "I'll kill an item," and not thinking, I ran over this green goo and got poisoned and got down to a half a hit of health. And I'm like, "Fuck! Why did I do that? I knew that was poisoned. Why did I do this thing to myself?"
So what you're saying is you're your own worst enemy.
Pretty much, I'm my own worst enemy. I have unlocked another character. I do not like them whatsoever, because the second character you unlock is the guardsman, and it's a girl, and they have a crossbow. It has a faster fire rate, but it does less damage, and she dashes instead of rolls. So she's a speedier kind of, hit them multiple times
But if you
kind of
dash
target.
through acid, don't you still get affected by said acid?
What?
If you dash through acid, aren't you just going through acid but faster?
Yes, but
Does
that
it still hurt?
yeah, it still would hurt because it would probably land me right in the middle of the acid.
Okay.
But I don't like that character, so I mostly played just the hunter for right now. I am looking forward to seeing the other characters, and what their abilities are and stuff. The other part of it is that you can get power ups and stuff to like kind of boost your abilities, and you usually have to make a choice in what you're grabbing. You can't find things in dungeons, but at the same time, you have these little respite rooms that will let you save and just automatically quit out if you need to like save and quit out for some reason.
If you need respite.
Yeah. But they usually have a table with some items you could buy, or you can spend the money on 3 different chests that will give you a permanent ability of some kind, or a stat up or something like that. And what I really liked is that in my time of playing roguelikes, this one has actually referenced at least a couple of them, one of which I can name right away, which was The Binding of Isaac. There's an item in there called Isaac's Sorrow, and it's a glass tear. Just like the game. I was like, oh, that's super rad. This guy is like nodding to all these other like roguelikes that he obviously took inspiration from in building this game.
How much nod was there? Was like the Bethesda nod to the RPG?
I don't know what the Bethesda nod is.
We'll talk about it in a little bit.
Okay.
We'll get there.
All in all, if you like roguelikes and you like kind of in-depth dungeon crawlers and want something fun to just kind of put around with and play and, maybe get to the end of it, maybe not. Depends on your mindset. I would honestly recommend it. It's a lot of fun. It's been fun to have on my Switch because that's what I bought it on. And so like I take it around with me or I put it in my back pocket and go do work. And then when I have a break, I play it. Or if I'm at home, just lounging around. And it's a fun little dungeon crawl. I recommend it. I'd probably give it probably a 4 Bindings of Isaacs out of 5, just because I haven't reached much of the story, and I don't know how much of the story is actually going to be there. So it may be closer to 5 if the story actually turns out to be pretty good.
Okay.
All right.
Fair enough. It sounds like it's something I would not enjoy, but I understand where you're coming from because it sounds like there's a lot more strategy in it than necessarily Moonlighter is, at least for the combat.
Yeah. I have one thing that I picked up as I was upgrading in my camp, because you can upgrade different things in your camp. And from just the sheer dungeon runs that I was doing and failing at, I had a bunch of items that I can use to upgrade. So I ended up buying a net. And the net originally was like, oh, you slow down enemies. I'm like, that's perfect. I'll slow them down. I'll shoot them in the face. It'd be great. Right? The next ability was that it also poisons them. I'm like, that's even better and cheesier. So I'll like throw it by a corner and like run around the corner and let all the things come down, and they'll just sit there and be like, oh, I'm taking damage, but I can't get past this wall. And I'm like, fuck you. I just cheese the fuck out of all of you. So you can do different things, and there's different weapons. I don't always use that. I just picked that up as the first thing because I was like, that's fucking awesome. So there is different play styles in it.
That's fair. Okay. So before we keep going, I mentioned it, so I might as well talk about it. So Bethesda had a not a Skyrim, an Elder Scrolls pen and paper RPG. They have one, and you know how D&D does the individual adventures.
Uh-huh.
Well, they also published one, a few of them, but one of them was almost a word for word ripoff from one from D&D. Like,
oh wow,
we're not
I
even
saw
talking.
the comparison. It was bad.
Yeah, like we're not even talking just similar. We're talking like the difference between you and I quoting a text different. Like maybe a couple words get misplaced because we don't remember it exactly the same, but other than that, exactly the fucking same. And not just that, like the goals and the checkpoints and all that stuff, like the milestones, I mean, within the adventures were almost identical. All they did was they changed out a couple of names. They changed out a couple of the names of races and and classes and stuff. But yeah, pretty much the same.
Heck, fuck.
Bonsai and I had talked about it during the week, and we both just had one question, and I'd love to get your take. How does this fucking happen?
Yeah, who the fuck slacked off that this made it all the way to release?
I mean, it has to be someone that didn't care, right? And then all the executives didn't care, and they're like, just put it out there, put everything out there. Yeah, it looks good to me. It looks like D&D.
But did they not think that they were gonna get fucking caught?
I just don't think they thought about it. It didn't go to the right nerd channels. It didn't go to the ones that play D&D and were like, wait a minute. Now listen to like the Starfinder guys.
So you're saying that they were just
like mythical magic, go for it.
You're just saying that they were ignorant.
Yeah.
Like they were like, whatever, seems fine, rush it out.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I guess you need some fucking Q&A, but for it to be that bad, like
That's bad.
yeah.
Oh, I'm not saying it's not terrible. I'm just saying
No. I'm just talking about their whole
executives
process.
care. And I don't think it went to the right channels. It went through the other ones, like the B team or something like that vaguely knows what RPs are. And they're like, yeah, it seems like a magic thing. Yeah, I mean, it seems good. It's fun.
So what you're saying is the QA guy was sick or hungover that day.
Yeah.
Missed that day in school, sort of. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. Now that we've talked about the Bethesda thing, let's bring it on back. What other game did you buy during your little $5 spree?
I didn't buy this one on that one. This is a different game altogether. This is actually on Steam. It's called Steadlight Rain. And it's a top-down...
I hate to disappoint everybody right off the bat, but it's not about raining satellites.
Yeah, that would have been a lot more.
I haven't got to that point in the story yet. It very well could rain satellites.
That's
mean, it happened in the Dresden Files.
Yeah. So this is actually a game that Fallen and I have been playing. And we've had it for a while. I think it came in a Humble or something like that. It's like $30 on Steam. It's 50 cents on the gray market if you want to go there.
We're not pushing the gray market.
No, I just like to give people options. I know that everybody's broke. I'm part of it.
Unless they sponsor us. What?
Yeah, sponsor us. And I gotta say, it's pretty fun. It's not. I don't think it's super groundbreaking. It's not unenjoyable though. There are some pet peeves about it, like you use the mouse to click around and stuff, and to move the map around, like the camera for the map when you're on it. It's the arrow keys instead of WASD, which is kind of weird. Though maybe those are for certain abilities for certain characters. But because I'm playing with Fallen, I only have control of 2 characters, and he has control of the other 2. And it's very much a Shadowrun-like kind of game. The premise is that your company was attacked, and now you have to kind of like get back and get revenge at the company that did it, as well as come up financially and make your name out there again in order to like make profit and do stuff. It has a lot of interesting elements. Though there are some interesting design choices that I don't know why they went with it. Like the hacker can hack, right? But the
I don't believe it.
Invisibility for temporarily, but she doesn't have any hacking ability whatsoever.
What?
Instead, the secondary hacking that goes
She's
into
a
play
live hacker.
goes for the soldier who gets hardwiring, which is different than hacking, but it's also similar in a lot of ways. Like with hardwiring, I can hardwire a door open, or I can hardwire a power generator to go out. Whereas hacking, I can hack terminals and like temporarily turn off cameras, or temporarily open doors, or stuff like that.
I mean, that makes sense though. Like, it's the difference between hacking into the security of a fucking computer versus picking a lock.
But why would you give that to the soldier, who is the fighter class that wants a bunch of armor and explosives, and not to the infiltrator?
I don't know. They dual class the rogue with the fighter.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So they made some interesting design choices that I don't know why they did that. Because essentially, the infiltrator just becomes a sniper and is only good for getting in positions to assassinate targets. But it makes them almost utterly useless when it comes to having to get into a compound and get some data of some kind and then get out. My hacker ends up mostly doing the infiltrating because he has hacking and can go anywhere, pretty much. He also gets another ability called hijacking, which lets him hijack targets with neural implants. But I'm at like level 2, almost level 3, and I still can't hijack anybody. because civilians apparently don't have neuro fucking transmitters or anything. So it's kind of useless. I don't know why that's also a thing. Like, at least let me take over civilians and make them like body shields or something.
Sounds like a late game thing.
Yeah, it very much can be, I guess. But if I can't take over any enemies whatsoever to help turn a fight around or anything, even low-end enemies that don't have shields or anything like that and need level 3 for it, then what's the use in going in that tree?
That's true.
I can dump that into other things, like being able to shoot energy weapons better. But anyway, the other design choice is that sometimes when you click on things, that characters don't go where you want them to, or they find a weird pathing that leads them through danger.
I've noticed that for all the point and click ones, though. Like, even XCOM did that to me sometimes.
Yeah, it's like, why did you go through the red zone with tons of enemies that are going to immediately start shooting at you? You know?
Yeah.
Either way, though, it's still a fun game. I wish there was a little bit more direction, because starting off, we didn't get the cutscene because we were playing co-op. And so, like, we were just thrown into a map, and we're like, what do we do? Oh, here's the map thing that we can use to do mission control and take on missions. Oh, okay, that's how you assign missions. Oh, that's how do you get more gear? Oh, you have to research gear in order to be able to buy it on the black market. Okay.
That reminds me a lot of the game that we used to play a lot. Not Reaction Drop, the one where you got a bunch of monsters coming at you. Oh, Jesus.
Are you talking about Red Solstice?
Yeah, that one. That reminds me, like, we were just dropped in the center and they were like, hey, figure it out.
Yeah, but at the same time, that was more just getting to objectives and being able to do them, whereas this one you have research and you take money to research, then you got to take money to buy the things, and we still haven't got past our, like, level 1 weapons, really. Like, we've unlocked a couple laser pistols, a plasma pistol, and a revolver, but nothing heavy duty that really stands up to anything. Like, we have SMGs with silencers on it at this point.
I just felt like Red Dawn was Colonial Marines in the sense where there was never enough ammo and the creatures were always just going to fuck you up.
Yeah, but honestly, I mean, I wouldn't mind doing more Red Solstice. But anyway, Starlight Rain, it's fun. I guess it'd be even more fun 4-player, I think. It'd be something that I recommend to people. I would also recommend buying it on sale. I don't know if it's worth the $30 price point. Maybe like 15 or 20, or maybe 10 or lower if you want to really hit that budget. But it could be a lot of fun with friends. And it's not a bad game. It does have its flaws, but if you like the kind of like Shadow Punk kind of thing, I would recommend it. And I'd probably get this one a 3 raining satellites out of 5.
And raining satellites are good?
I mean, yeah, as long as it's on my enemies.
Fair enough. All right. Yeah, that sounds like an interesting game. I did like Shadowrun. I've still yet to finish the second one, Tokyo, I think is what it is.
Oh yeah, no, I haven't played. I've played a little bit of those ones, but that one's more turn-based, and this one's actually like it's continuous.
So
like
this one is a lot more like Red Dawn then.
Yes.
Okay.
Red Solstice.
Red Solstice. Sorry, Red Dawn was a whole different thing. All right.
So was the Hunt for Red October.
Okay. Yes, the Hunt for Red October. That's the worst Russian accent I've ever heard. And that's even after, our communist bear accent.
I thought it was after
Communist bear.
nuclear vessels.
Say again?
Nuclear vessels.
Wassels. I actually have a Russian coworker who gets really mad when I say that. He was actually trying to tell me there's a new show on the Chernobyl incident that's supposed to be really good.
Huh.
And he was trying to tell me about it, and I was like, so are the actors like Russian? He goes, it's weird. They all have Irish accents. I was like, Wassels. And he just started giving me dirty looks. All right. So there's a new TV show that we want to talk about, right?
So next time he recommends anything, say like, "That's very cheeky breaky."
I just yell "Suka blet," which I hear on every single car crash video on YouTube.
Pretty much.
Inevitably, there's at least one "Suka blet" that gets dropped. Which
What does that mean?
I'm pretty sure it
Fucking
means,
shit.
huh?
Fucking shit.
Fucking shit or fucking bitch. Yeah, beyond.
Well, Blit is usually shit, but it could be also bitch as well. They interchangeable.
Again, I'm going off of what my coworker says, but
I have looked deep into Slav things, and it is good either or, but usually shit.
you still sound better than Sean Connery playing a Russian officer.
Yes.
Da. All right. Come on, Bonsai. Talk to us.
What am I talking about?
Mostly paying attention, but no, there's a new show, Marvel's show.
Oh, I just wasn't sure which thing I was doing. Yeah, well, it's not new. It's new to Hulu, but it's been
okay.
out on Freeform for a while. And that was like, I hate to be that guy, but that was honestly my hesitancy. It's a Freeform show. It's like,
What do you mean by freeform?
Yeah,
Freeform's a channel.
Oh, okay,
Right?
fair enough.
Yeah, that's the reaction you should have when hearing about Freeform. It's a online channel. I forgot who the parent company is, but you pay a premium to watch shows on Freeform.
Okay.
So they're doing Marvel's Cloak and Dagger. It's up on Hulu now. You can do the whole first season. It's good.
Is that a question?
Yeah. So I'm not super familiar with the comics. I don't know how close to the comics at all it is. So like this is purely just a judgment of the show. It's a little melodramatic, like a lot of these shows are. Like it's no more or less melodramatic than like Arrow or Flash or any of those. But it's fun. Like I like it so far. The opening was really good. I'm only 3 or 4 episodes in. The whole opening was really good. Sort of them coming together has been interesting. Really, my only problem is I just kind of want more. Like we're doing a lot of piddly shit, and now I'm like, okay, like we get it. So let's do something with it now. Like just do something. That's where I'm at. And again, it's only 3 or 4 episodes. I doubt, or I'm hoping, it's not the whole season. That's just going to be a lot of, oh man, this is crazy. It is crazy. Yeah, it's real crazy. And finally, like, okay, well, let's just go do something. That's
Okay.
really it's all I can say. I get that that's not a super in-depth review, but again, I'm only 3 or 4 episodes in. Both, well, I guess I shouldn't say that. The actors are doing a fine job. Neither one of them is mind-blowing. She's a little better than he is.
Okay, just to note, the network that owns them is what used to be ABC Family.
Mm.
They've changed the name to Freeform now, but it's owned by Disney.
Okay, so it makes sense why this is on there.
Okay, so at face value, I'm not. I have no interest in this show at all because, as opposed to like the WB versions where those characters look like they could kick ass, this looks like, and I know this is gonna pique your interest, but it looks like Degrassi. Not necessarily, yeah, no, I know. Not necessarily what I'm looking for. Especially when you remember Cloak and Dagger, the comic book, they look nothing like this.
Well, that's kind of hard to say. There are tons of different artists who draw people in different ways, and where I'm at, he's at least working on his cloak. So, I don't know.
Okay, I mean, I've seen things Cloak and Dagger are in, and it has never been 2 teenagers with attitude.
Well, but like that's what I mean. Like that's them in their street clothes. Like he's working on the cloak he's known for. It's just not done yet.
Okay.
So it's an origin story. They're clearly building to something. I just hope that maybe it's paced a little bit better. Especially after coming off like the Netflix Marvel shows. I did not hate those shows. I didn't dislike those shows, but they were all very slow. Like I kind of wish they varied in tone a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Because just like watching them, God, once it got to be 5 different shows, it just became a little fucking much. And I couldn't handle that much dramatic Marvel. Just like I can't handle that much dramatic DC. I have the same problem with the CW ones. I had like 2 that I followed. I'm honestly not really watching any of them anymore. Same with the Marvel ones. I didn't watch Daredevil season 3. I'm kind of done with the DC stuff. It just gets too melodramatic for me. It's too much. I can't do it. I need a little bit more action. So I'm hoping that maybe because this is a Marvel one and it's on a different network, we might build to maybe a little bit more action or intrigue. But so far, it's an okay show. It's good enough for me to want to watch the season.
Fair
See,
enough.
I want a Marvel show that's just like that, like Agents of Shield, but not them doing anything cool. Just all the mundane things and like living life with like the
So,
like background of everything else happening, right? You know,
No,
and, like,
they did try this.
on that.
There was a DC show. Fuck me, I cannot remember the name right now. It did one season, but it was a DC show about some people who worked for, was it Wayne Enterprises? They worked for one of the DC corporations. I can't remember which one. I think it was Wayne Enterprises, though. And it was literally just about like the people who worked in the office at Wayne Enterprises. Occasionally there would be villains in town, or somebody would find a batarang, and that was super cool. But largely it was like an office sitcom.
That
About-
to me sounds awesome.
Oh, the show was so good. I loved the first season. It did one season and got fucking canceled. I thought it was hysterical.
That sounds like it'd be
Do I need to
Very-
look this up right now?
Yeah,
look it up. That sounds like it'd be a lot like Better Off Ted, though.
It was a little Better Off Ted, but it was basically Better Off Ted in DC, and those are two things that I enjoy.
Yeah, I could see that. Okay, so just putting this out there, if this was made in the 90s, this would be Melissa Joan Hart and like Will Smith.
Yeah, I buy that.
Like that's the look that I'm getting from these guys.
It was called...
But for reals, if y'all haven't watched Better Off
Powerless.
Ted,
What is it?
Powerless.
Powerless.
Yeah.
when did this come out?
Fucking, it's not at all old, dude. 2017. It had Alan Tudyk, Ron Funches, Danny Pudi from Community. The show was great.
When? Oh, fuck, I totally missed this.
Yeah, I
It
never heard
wasn't even
anything
on like
of
a small network. Like this was on like ABC or some major network. I guess on ABC because that's Disney.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, killer cast, funny as fuck show. Loved it. It canceled after one season. It was really good.
That's unfortunate. There's a lot of things like that. Well, Better Off
It
Ted.
was
I
Wayne
think could've done
Enterprises
more.
because Alan Tudyk plays. He's like Bruce Wayne's second cousin or something, so he's really only in charge of this office because he's family, and he's such a smarmy dickhead. Oh, this show is so good. You've got to see if you can find and try Powerless. Like, I really do recommend that show.
Okay, I wonder if it's on any of the streaming things that I already pay for. Okay. So give it a rating so far. Your first look rating.
Like 5 out of 10
Ooh.
light knives.
Alan Tudyk is great, chat. But 5 out of 10, wow.
Yeah, again, like I've only seen enough to be intrigued and want to do. Like, it's not like a 1. I'm not like this is flat garbage. It has good things, so I'm curious. I'll give it more, but I'm not gonna put it like. Don't go out of your way. If you're just looking for some filler TV, or like you want something to play in the background while you're cooking, that might be a good place to start with this one. And maybe I'll change my mind. I don't know.
I already have that. It's called watching the episodes of Lucifer and getting caught up.
Fuck Lucifer. I did not enjoy. I gave it 2 episodes. I gave it the fuck up.
I'm liking it more after I'm revisiting it. Initially, I gave up on it, but it's okay. I'm looking at it with different eyes, and I think
your special eyes.
oh yeah, my private eyes. I think we've come to that time, the time that everyone's looking forward to after Sunday.
Oh yeah, Game of Thrones recap, y'all.
Boy,
Okay, so this one got pretty fucking intense pretty quick. So we open up with a hot take, pun intended. In the previous episode, I told you there was those 2 guys, and they were talking about one's like, "Hey man, this is treason." The other guy's like, "I mean, yeah, but for real though, treason." So the little dude goes and he tells the queen, he's like, "Hey man, treason?" And she's like, "Oh, you want to talk about treason? Fuck this guy, fuck this guy, fuck this guy, fuck this guy. But I guess that all does. Shit rolls downhill, so fuck that guy." And he's like, "Oh, I mean, fuck. Okay. So they drag the bald dude out back, set him on fire with a dragon. He's dead. There were people at my work who were like, well, they didn't show him die. Like, he was surrounded by a circle of people with swords and spears and shields and a goddamn dragon breathing fire on him. He's dead.
Motherfucker
Let's
dead.
get that the fuck out of the way. And then little dude, he's like, hey, man, I'm going to go save my brother. And people are like, yeah, really don't do that. She's kind of going nuts with the dragon setting people on fire, like real bad timing. And she's like, little dude's like, yeah, I'm going to go do that. So he goes and he frees his brother and he's like, hey, man, I know like my sister doesn't like me, then you're like banging her, but like go get her out of the castle. Like I don't even care that she doesn't like me. Go do the right thing. Save her. Save the people of that town. Handle business. Be the hero, man. I'll get killed, but I'm doing it because you were a decent dude when I was a kid. People hated me. They loved you, but you loved me. That made a difference. So go do your thing. So he dips. So then everybody starts showing up at the city the throne is in, right? Like, we're really going Game of Thrones. We're at the door, and they're like, So all the dudes are on their boats, right? And they got the big thing that killed the fucking dragon. The dragon was like, fuck, chest shot. They're all sitting on the boats. And they're all like, fucking gear this shit up. We're doing it. And so she shows up with the dragon. I'll be honest, I'm like, well, she's a fucking moron. This is the worst plan. But now her and Dragon are like, yeah, we know you have those. A game time. They come up and they just burn all the ships down. They're like, you know what your ships suck at is turning because you're a boat. So come at you sideways and whoop, fuck you. So that's gone. And then she's like, okay, well, burn down this fucking wall around their city. Walls. Dragon Breath seems to knock over walls in this. It made more sense when it was an ice wall. This, I guess, just Dragon Breath has concussive force. Because it's like knocking over buildings. And
Kinetic force, yeah.
Sure, I guess. I don't know how fucking Dragon Breath works, so cool. So she's knocking over a wall with it, right? And her army's like, all right, bro. Fucking, she burnt the first battalion, charge up on the city. So they start charging on the city. The armies meet in the streets of the city. And there's a little bit of a stare down. And the defending army's like, nope, drops all their swords. They're like, nah. We're good. Dragon, queen we don't like. Fucking done. Peace. So then everybody's like, please ring the bell. Just ring the bell and surrender. Like, the people are in the streets are begging the queen, just ring the fucking bell and surrender the goddamn city. So they do. The people ring the bell. They're like, fuck this. Don't even care about her. Ring the bell. So they ring the bell. And then the dragon chick is like, I'm super pissed. Everybody's backstabbing me. Hate this bitch in her castle. Now she's just going to throw in the towel and I'm going to be like, I'm your queen now? Fuck that. She starts burning the city. She goes nuts with it.
Wow.
She's burning the city. She's burning the castle. And her top guard, who's also all pissed off face because they murdered his girlfriend on top of the wall in the last episode, he's like, fuck yeah, game on. Starts killing the unarmed soldiers who just surrendered. Starts a big old fight in the streets. Meanwhile, our boy Jon Snow's in there going like, can we please stop? Like, if you run at him with a sword, he's gonna stab you to the deaths. But he's like, hey man, not wanting to play this game like Frill. Everybody surrendered. Let's be cool. Nobody's being cool. 0 people have an amount of chill to them. But she's just burning the city. So then Arya, little badass, kill the fucking White Walkers chick, and the Hound, this dude whose face is all burnt, but he's a badass fighter, but his brother's the most badass fighter. He hates that dude because that dude burned his face. He's like, hey, little girl, I know you came here to kill the queen, and I came here to kill my brother, but I'm about to kill everybody, and that bitch is burning down the city. So unless you're 100% down to die right the fuck now, like, leave. And she's like, no. And he's like, no. Dying. End. This ends with everybody dead or no dice. Like, this is the murder time. And she's like, okay, not down with the murder. Bye. She dips. He goes up the stairs. There's the queen. There's the queen's, like, right-hand guy. And there's his brother. This big, unbeknownst to him, undead, crazy motherfucker. This is the dude played by Thor. He's like the world's strongest man in all those tough man games. That motherfucker. So it's this dude against his brother. The queen's right hand is like, you can't fight this guy. You stay by the queen and don't fight your brother. He just slams that dude's head against a rock a few times. That dude's fucking dead. Then the queen just kind of like gives everybody a look and is like, I'm gonna dip. Like 0 people have fucks, and they're like, fuck. So they duke it out. It's this big thing. The little dude with the burnt face gets his brother dead to rights like 10 times. Dude, don't die. Undead fucking monster. Picks him up, starts crushing his skull. And he's like, nope. Pulls out a dagger, shanks him in the eye. Dude still doesn't die. So he's like, all right, game the fuck over. Tackles him over a wall, throws them both into a fiery pit of hate off of like a tower, both dead. Homeboy's the MVP of the whole story. Because the mountain was a fucked up fucking guy and got worse when he became a zombie. Who'd have thought that shit would happen? Did. Then fucking evil queen no fucks bitch goes downstairs and her brother shows up and he's like, I'm gonna get you out of here. We're gonna keep fucking. We're gonna save your baby. So they're in the basement and they're about to escape. It collapsed. Their exit is gone and the only way to go is back up into the collapsing castle. And then the whole capsule just seems to collapse on them. Some people think they're not dead. I think we all got ripped off. Both of those characters, there are people who deserved to get the kill shot on them and they didn't fucking get it. Not cool. Kind of piss poor writing. Like, a lot of people are being harsh on this season, and I'm kind of cool with the season because I'm like, cool, it's gonna end, and I just kind of don't care as long as I get an ending. Like, anything is better than it getting canceled or like everybody waking up and it being a dream or some stupid shit. As long as I get an ending, I'm good. I'm just good. That was bullshit. That sucked. 2 of the most evil motherfuckers, and they die hugging each other. No, you didn't. No, sir. Unacceptable. Not okay. So basically this shit ends. Little badass girl's running through the street as people are dying. Jon Snow is trying to evacuate 2 armies because she's like frenzy killing, burning this fucking city down. The only dude who's into it is her right-hand guy who had his girlfriend have her head cut off on top of the wall. Like, basically everybody's just kind of looking around going, hey, this is fucked up. Like, even people who were like firmly on her side, like, yeah, she's the rightful queen, she's got dragons, this bitch, they're all now going like, oh,
are we the baddies?
Oh, no. Right, well, so the whole thing, like, even before this show started, there was this whole war killing this dude called the Mad King, who was her dad. And he was this dude who went nuts, and then this war broke out over some bullshit. And his final plan was to nuke his own city. Like, if I'm not going to have the throne, fucking nobody gets it. Burn the city to the ground. And that's why this other dude fucking killed him and got this tarnished name. That was like, you're a traitor. You were supposed to guard him, and you fucking killed him. Nobody ever knew he was going to burn down the whole city. But people are kind of seeing his daughter, who's now going for the throne, kind of go shithouse. So the next episode, I think, is going to be like everybody figuring out how to kill a dragon real quick. And then killing the dragon, killing her, and going like, okay, we're all done here now, right? So I think next episode, you're going to get 30 to 45 minutes of, like, dragon battle. And then the rest of the show is going to be like, and this is where everybody ended up. Because it's not the kind of thing where, like, you know, everybody throws their hand in the air and you freeze frame, and that was the Game of Thrones. Like, you kind of have to do some posts like, okay, so he won, he married this bitch, they had kids. Like, you just kind of have to do some of that. You're not going to get away with Wolverines. It's not going to happen.
I want it to, like, end and, like, have, like, that, like, 80s style, like, fucking, like...
Jump in the air freeze frame?
Well, no, where it, like, just has the dialogue option, like, below them. Like,
Jon Snow went on to lead Tiger House to the All-State Games. I
don't you forget about...
Yeah.
John Hughes. Now, a lot of people are really upset. The Cersei Jaime thing really has me pissed. Like, it's like the whole Joffrey thing. I know you guys don't follow, but you at least know that bit. Like, this kid sucked, and people were doing backflips when they finally killed him because it wasn't just like, oh, and he fell off a cliff. Like, no, they killed him. They murdered this boy.
That's where I left.
Suffered. Right, but like watching him suffer was like, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep, I was
you-
like, done,
You
complete.
do not, sorry, spoiler, but you do not get that for Cersei and Jaime. They hug and a building collapses on top of them.
What you didn't see is that later on they're gonna bring one of them back, and they had to eat the other one.
A lot of people like they've got to like Tyrion's gonna walk around and unbury them, and they're gonna be alive, and then somebody else kills them or something. And I'm like, there's no time. You have 76 minutes or something like that left in the last episode. There's no time for more shit. They are just cutting off fucking branches, calling it good. So unfortunately, I think that really is the end for them, and it's a really big letdown. But other than that, I'm down with where everything's going. It's all fine. I mean, in my perfect world, the Night King killed everybody, and it was 1,000 years of zombies. You know what I mean? That shit's obviously not going to happen, so whatever. Whatever happens is fine.
Well, the Nightman can't do that because the Dayman will kill him.
The Dayman.
Yeah,
Dayman.
he's master of the karate.
Actually,
and
you know what's
friendship.
funny is this is not at all in the show, but in the books there is this character called Azora Ahai who is like this champion of light and fire who's supposed to kill the White Walker. They do not go over this at all in the show, but it's a whole prophecy in the book. We're way over time.
No, not way over.
It's way over.
Just like a minute, big guy.
It's
All right,
so
so
much time.
I did have one question though, because I always do for these. A lot of people are really pissed off. It's the Cersei's thing then.
Yeah.
Why everyone's so pissed off? Because even like one of the actresses says she doesn't like how her character ended up, and I think that's.
Can you say which character that was?
I think it's the one that's playing the Queen of the Dragons.
Oh, so we haven't seen Daenerys die yet.
No, not die. How she ended up, like how they're portraying her now.
Oh, her kind of going crazy. It seems very abrupt, but what I've been I haven't read the books, but I've been watching like these videos that are catching me up on the differences. It does sound like that's kind of what they're gearing her towards, but it's not confirmed in the book yet. And I'm sure it's a much more graceful transition in the books, where they're cramming it into like one season. I think the books will probably carry it out over the next couple of books.
I don't know. That bitch stood in fire with petrified dragon eggs. It's pretty mad to me.
So no, it's not about the madness. She originally stood for freeing slaves and helping people and making life for people of the world better. And now she's rage burning down a city, not giving a fuck because there's other people who might take her throne, even though they flat out told her, hey, I'm not really interested in all that. Like, I'm not about your throne. I don't care. So
Okay.
yeah.
Fair enough. There was a lot of like, I see Reddit and I see a lot of the memes and people are mad and I'm like, what's
A lot of
everybody mad
people are
about?
really upset about this season. They don't like how quickly the Night King died. They're not liking the Cersei. But I think a lot of people had this one ending in their head of like, this guy gets the throne. And if it wasn't going to be that one ending, they weren't going to be happy.
Oh, that's all.
That's really what I think. I can't prove that. I haven't like gone door to door and haha, motherfucker. But that's just the impression that I get is people wanted like this very narrow box ending where I'm kind of just approaching it like, yeah, as long as something happens, like it's just been 8 seasons. Let's get a fucking payoff. Let's get any payoff they'll give us.
So do you think
And let's not be confused about it like fucking Lost, you dullards.
Do you think that's why they're ending it though? It's been too long and HBO was like, y'all have had your chance.
And because he hasn't finished them yet, yeah, they just need to stop before he does finally get something closer. Because basically, the next book he does already contradicts a bunch of the show.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, and that does bring us over the time now for sure.
Way over.
Way over. Yes, way over, big guy. All right. On that note, check us out live Mondays, 7 to 8 Pacific. If not, find us on iTunes. Final words, Klops?
I'm doing the streaming thing on Tuesdays. We're going to do more Deathwing.
All right, so Tuesday night, 7 to 9, doing some Deathwing. What now?
It's Space Hulk Deathwing.
There we go. Cool.
Come and
Bonsai.
burn the heretics with us.
Bonsai?
My baloney has a first name.
And Bingo was his name-o?
And Bingo was his name. Wheels on the bus go up
All
and
right.
down.
On that note, bye.
It's not even how that song.
Not even a little.